Good morning, students. How are you all doing? I hope your preparation of our subject and other subjects is going well. Yes, students, let me know how are things going at your end. Any particular issue, doubt that you are facing, we can have a discussion. We can work out the solution. Yes, good morning to one and all. Ambeshwari, Pranav, Sania, Hardik, Bhumika, Niru, Ajay, Surya, Nitin, Saundarya, Bhavna, Mahalakshmi. Okay. Hardik says, sir, clear till here, no doubt. Thank you, Preeti. Yes, Manvi, good morning. So, students, I'm equally glad to meet all of you all once again. And yes, it is really a great morning whenever I connect to you all through our live lectures. Now, students, we have been in touch for some period of time. Let us now please make it clear that we have to give our 100% and ensure that in any case we clear our exams, and that has to be done with thorough practice, with full concept clarity, and also by going to the core of every subject, every chapter to the extent possible. See, I can understand as a student many times your first primary objective could be only passing exams. That is okay. But I'm sure students, you all will equally understand that since we are giving a professional exam, the most important point in professional exam is thorough and in-depth knowledge. Because the knowledge that you are gaining today will form basis for your entire professional career. And I'm sure you all would have at least gone to the Google and checked what is the meaning of professional. Now, obviously, professional is the person who is engaged in profession. Then the question comes, what is profession? Profession is derived from the word to profess. Again, let me just do Google along with you. So, it is derived from the word to profess. So, if I go to the meaning of profess, what it says, profess is claim that one has a quality or feeling, especially when it is not the case. Okay. Affirm one's faith in or allegiance to a religion. Okay, so this is a different meaning of profess. So we go to the meaning of professional, or let us say profession. Now see, what is profession? A paid occupation, especially one that involves prolonged training and formal qualification. Again, an act of declaring that one has a particular feeling quality, especially when this is not the case. Okay, this is the other type of definition. So most important is that profession is something where you specialize because of a long period of training, and also it comes out of some sort of qualification. Now, please understand, dear students, why I am taking this point. Now, we have been together for a while, and I always believe that I should pass on certain important virtues to my students. Whatever I have experienced till now is that when we are in profession, especially such an elite profession like ours, people look upon us with great level of expectation and a very great level of trust. Many times I have seen big companies who are your clients, either because you are there practicing CA consultant, or maybe you are their regular consultant who's filing the returns, doing various type of compliance. They look upon with you with such a faith that they have that faith that you have the 100% thorough knowledge. And like how we surrender to the doctor when it comes to our treatment, even our lives. Similarly, they surrender that their entire business to you. They fully rely on you for the accurate accounting, costing, financial management, taxation aspects. And this is where our responsibility as a professional is very high. So I will humbly request all that please realize that responsibility so that when you understand key when you carry the tag of chartered accountant, you are looked upon as the most specialized, the most accurate, and the most in-depth knowledge person. And in order that we match this expectation, we need to right from day one start inculcating the knowledge, the studies, the various type of concepts with that particular expectation in mind. Many times I've seen students say that, sir, let me first prepare for exams. Later on, I'll go for the in-depth knowledge. Remember, students, this never happens. This never happens. Yes, Nitin. Because if you have not taken in-depth knowledge of something at the start, that becomes an attitude and approach. And it will always be your attitude that, okay, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. But knowledge is not something which can be done later. If today you understand the concept only from the perspective of solving, that will remain with you. You may miss the depth of that particular topic or concept. Yes, I agree to this. I fully appreciate that I am not expecting that day one, every concept, every subject, you will become expert. That will never happen. Some may get understanding of a one topic more clearly, but may not of the other topic or of other subjects. And that is very okay. That is very correct. You also do not expect that you will specialize immediately. You will be able to answer everything immediately. But your attitude should be such that I need to reach that level, which will happen over a period of time with more practice, as Nitin said, with practical training, with experience. The point is not, I'm not saying that today you have to gain the in-depth knowledge. Like, for example, any chapter sums, when you are solving it today for the first time, and if you repeat it afterwards in the form of revision or practice, I will tell you, you will have a great learning curve, which means that you will find that, okay, this time I have understood something different. Many times, after studying or understanding some further chapter, or maybe topic of a different subject, then when you are revising the same topic of this subject again, suddenly you are able to understand something differently and something more better, which at the first time you are not able to understand. There are many concepts which will click to you when you are sitting idle doing unproductive work or just relaxing that, acha, ha, that concept meant this, acha, that working which I was not getting, this is the point. But the point is, all these things to happen, you have to have that approach, that attitude that, yes, I want in-depth thorough knowledge. I want to be the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh of these subjects. Keep that approach in mind. This is what is my simple point of input. Let us now go to our topic of joint products and byproducts. Now, logically, this topic is an extension of the process costing chapter, which we did earlier. I'm sure by now everybody has understood that topic thoroughly. We have practiced these sums so that You are able to understand it perfectly. Now, process 1, process 2, process 3. Now, how is our present topic related or linked with process? Let me understand, so that in exams by chance, if our institute gives you that type of a sum, or if in your profession you come across that situation, you will not be baffled, or you will not be finding yourself in a situation that, okay, I was not doing this. So we'll take a real life example of our petroleum companies. Now we all know that the petrol, diesel that we are buying, we are not getting petrol, diesel directly. What we get is crude oil. Some reserves we have in India, but majorly all our requirements are satisfied from imports. We don't import petrol. We don't import diesel. Why? Because then it would be too costly for us. So what we do is we import the raw material, which is a crude oil. Now this crude oil goes to these petroleum companies, which we call as refineries. Like all these petrol pumps, what you are seeing are actually refineries, petroleum refineries companies like Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, even now Reliance. All these are refineries. Now, why they are called as refineries? I'm sure you all would have come across this word, refineries. All these companies, petro companies, are called as refineries. Why? Because when this crude oil is imported by them, this crude oil goes through various stages, various processes of carrying out refining of the crude oil. Because the crude oil in its original form is very thick, much thicker than the cooking oil that we use in our house. It is much thicker. It is very dark colored. Now, if you see petrol, diesel, it is very fine. Petrol, in fact, is so fine that if you keep the petrol open, it will get evaporated. It is that fine. So how that happens? Through the refining process. So the crude oil refined at first stage, you still have crude oil, but some degree of refined crude oil. This becomes input for the second refining process. In this, again, by adding material labor, here also you had done material labor. Now see, we have done process costing, so you'll understand this. But right now, I'm not explaining from costing perspective as at the time. I'm explaining from the practical perspective. So on this refined crude oil, you add more refining material, you carry out the processing through using your labor and overheads of that department, and you get further refined crude oil. This further refined crude oil goes to the next stage. Again, you add more refining material. You carry out the refining process using the labor, the machines, etc. of that department. And let us say, at this stage, you get your final product. Now, this final product, this is the interesting part, how joint product byproducts chapter is related with process costing. This final product generally is not one. It is like your raw material gets split into various products: petrol, diesel, kerosene. These are the products that you get when you are refining crude oil. I'm not saying that it is happening in the third process only. This is just an example, but the logic remains the same. So at the end of third process, in my example, you get your final products, and these products emerge from a common raw material. Hence, these products are called as joint products. So firstly, why joint? Because they are emerging from a common raw material. Now, as we have seen in process costing, at the time of processing, you may also get some loss, which is the waste or scrap of that product. Here, the loss that you get is the, see, what does refining do? Refining removes the thicker part. That part, which is the solid part in that particular crude oil, which is not required in petrol, diesel. So it is removing that thicker part, the greasy part, and that is what you get as grease, which is actually the waste. of the refining process because refining was done to remove this. This grease is actually your waste or scrap, but this grease is also sellable in the market as a product. Hence, when any waste is sellable in the market as a product, we do not call it as waste, then we also call it as a product. But then the word that is generally used for waste, which are sellable as a product, is the byproduct. So this is the best example to understand what are joint products and byproducts. See, normal abnormal loss, Hardik, depends upon the extent to which you are getting this waste. To the extent of, sorry, normal level of waste arising, it will be normal loss. Once the waste arising exceeds the normal percentage, it becomes abnormal. But I think your intention of asking this is not from the perspective of normal and abnormal. Your intention is, okay, this is part and parcel of the process. Answer is yes. Refining is the process of removing this greasy part so that you are left with the main finer part, which is the petrol, diesel, etc. Right? Now, this is the simplest and the best example of understanding process linked with this topic of joint products, byproducts. Now, this practical case is now coming to the costing department, whereby the costing department are asked to find out the cost of these products. Because tomorrow we have to find out the price, we have to sell it in the market. Now, in this particular case, please understand and appreciate one thing. In the first process, I incurred some cost and I did costing as per the process method. So I got the total cost of this, which is my output of the first process. So if you remember process costing, in process costing, at the end, in the statement of valuation that we prepare. So first statement is equivalent statement. Second is cost per unit. Third is valuation. In valuation, you find out values of abnormal items. You find out value of closing WIP, and you find out value of those items which are your output of that process. So I got the cost or value of this, which became the input cost here. I did further processing. I did more cost in the form of additional material, labor, overheads, etc. And again, at the end of process 2, while doing valuation, again valuation of abnormal items, closing WIP item, and valuation of the output of this. See, this value includes this cost and the additional cost incurred in process 2. This becomes the combined output. Now, this cost is the input cost of process 3. And in process 3, I do further cost in the form of the refining material, which is the additional material, labor, overheads, etc. And then again, when I do costing of this third process, I get the cost of all my output items, which again includes abnormal items, which includes the closing WIP of this process and the final product of this process. Now, please remember that if you recall the process costing formats, the last format of valuation, we have only one column for final product, one column for abnormal, one column for closing WIP. So this cost which I get in my process costing workings is one cost. One cost means I don't know yet the cost of these items separately. I know a common cost of these items, which is from the valuations working note of the process costing. In that, in the column of final product, I get a total cost. Let us say this total cost is coming to rupees 50 lakhs. Now, this total cost which I have got is my combined cost of my output. Hence, this is the joint cost. Because it is the common cost, it is the combined cost. Shirini beta, main product is not crude oil. Your main product is your petrol, diesel, kerosene. And since these main products are produced together, hence these main products are called as joint products. So your main product is petrol, diesel, kerosene. Crude oil is your raw material or input beta. Okay. Now understand students, this 50 lakhs, which I get from a process costing workings, is commonly for the entire final product account head. Means at the end of my process costing, I know the cost of my final product, but I still do not know the cost of each of these products which I am getting jointly. So this cost which I have got from my process costing workings is my common cost for all the joint products which is produced. That is, this is the joint cost. Also, please understand this, that this 50 lakhs includes cost of process 1, process 2, process 3 combined. It means independently process 1, 2, 3 costing is now merged and has become the total cost of my entire processing work. So it means that 50 lakhs, even though you are getting here, does not mean it is only the cost of process 3. It is already including the cost of process 2, process 1. So process 1 cost was embedded in this. This became input here. In process 2, when you got the output again of crude oil, it embeds the cost of process 1 plus process 2. Now this, when it becomes input here, and further costs are incurred and you get the final cost of your final product. This final products embeds the cost of process 1, process 2, and process 3. So this is my combined cost of all stages. And in other words, this is my total cost. Now the only point is process costing stops here after giving you the cost of your final product. But now my final product is not a single item. My final product is made up of multiple items. Obviously, I would like to know the cost of each of my output independently. As you can see in the market also, petrol has a different price, diesel has a different price, kerosene has a different price. That is why I wish to know the cost of these items separately, independently. And that is where this chapter of joint products, byproducts, costings comes into picture. Preeti, for the time being, I'm not going to the byproducts. For the time being, students assume that you only have joint products. Byproducts will come to the later part of our discussion, so that otherwise what I'm explaining may get mixed up. So for the time being, just understand that there is no byproduct, because it is not the case that everywhere in process costing there will be byproduct. See, you will have loss everywhere possible. 90% of processes, or rather every manufacturing activity has loss. Which is a loss, which is a scrap. We sell it in the market as scrap in kilos. That's it. So loss is there. But when that loss becomes a byproduct, when while selling it, you are not selling it in scrap. You are selling it like a product by even packaging it, then that particular item is not called as a loss. See, it is a loss actually. But since we are now selling it in the market as an output, as a product, by packaging it, by labeling it, by putting our brand. Otherwise, see, if something is waste, what you do? You collect the waste in some gunny bag or something, and you send it to the market in those gunny bags. You send to the scrap wala. The scrap wala will do the weighing or counting, whatever it is, and give you a lump sum amount, like how we sell raddi of our house. But where, even though for you it is a waste, but market takes it as a final product, then what you will do, at least for marketing, you will do it like a product. That is, you will pack it, you will label it, you will brand it. Maybe you will even advertise it. Now somebody will say, ki, sir, ये आप कैसे advertise करते? Let me tell you. Now winters have started. I'm sure in many of your places, you would be having a decent chilly weather. So let me tell you, this you are all buying. What is this in the market? Which is also marketed, which you will now see many ads. This is your favorite petroleum jelly, which is what? Your moisturizing cream. Now, not the very high price ones, the low price ones. Yes, correct, Priti Malani. The most common brand is Vaseline, which we normally use to apply on our body part except the face, because for face we have a higher quality product which is made up of milk, which is made up of cream, which is made up of almonds, so many things. All that is marketing. Fine. So point is what, students, that this byproduct is actually a waste. It is what they did not want. They could have thrown it away, but they found that this is also having a use in the market. First, at the stage of grease itself, where it is sent to all these workshops where they apply this grease while doing servicing of your vehicles. And a better version of grease is where some perfume, some sort of coloring is put in that, and then it is packed in small these boxes and sent to the market for applying on human beings. Then that becomes your moisturizing creams or Vaseline. Now, if that is the case, why will a company not market it and sell it as a product? So byproducts are waste arising from the processing, but sold in the market as a product. But for the time being, we will not consider examples where there are byproducts, because every process may have a loss, but every loss need not be a byproduct. So for the time being, the process has loss and that loss is a scrap. Later on, once we specialize with this, then beta, I will answer your question, Preeti, because if I answer it right now, it may be slightly confusing to even understand the basics. So for the time being, Preeti, the joint cost that you are having is the cost of all main products. That is, byproducts for the time being are not there. So the joint cost, like in my example, 50 lakhs, is the cost of all your main products combined. Fine. Now, students, understand this. At this stage, your process costing has ended. The role of process costing and the process costing chapter, all the formats is over. What is our role in this? Is this cost is common for all your products, all your main products. I now want to find out my cost of individual products. So what I have to do is I have to simply divide this cost between my products. I'm using the simple word divide, and that slightly technical costing word is apportion. So I have to apportion the joint cost between joint products. Yes, Preeti. So simply in this chapter, what we have to do is we have to divide, we have to distribute, we have to apportion this cost that you got from your process costing chapter between your products. Now, how do you divide any cost? As Preeti rightly pointed out, by taking some ratio. What ratio we will take? That is what is called as methods of apportionment of joint cost. This chapter is a very simple mechanical chapter. Like if you remember your overheads chapter, primary distribution, what we did was we took an expense and we divided it in the ratio. Here also, you will take this joint cost and you will distribute between your joint products in some ratio. That ratio may be 1, 2, 3, 4, means there are different options. Those options for different ratios are called as different methods of apportioning joint cost. And in this chapter, we are going to study this only. This is the most simple and the most calculator driven chapter where you have to simply do apportionment. Yes, the chapter becomes tricky and difficult if this basic concept which I'm explaining now is not very clear, or if you are not able to understand what is given in the question, which at times is tricky because of the language, but that is where practice comes into the picture. So practicing different types of sums will give more clarity. But for that, first understanding this basic part is very, very important. Now, you all understood what basically this chapter requires. It requires you to divide your joint cost in your joint products using some ratio, and you have multiple option of ratios. That is why they call it as methods. Now going to some more technical part. This process in which your products gets separated. Separated means till now you were having only one thing, that was your crude oil. So every process was giving you output of crude oil only, and you were doing processing on one material. So physically you could always see crude oil, crude oil, crude oil. But at the end of the third process, you are now seeing different items. So what was a common single item? So till now, physically, at the end of every process, what you were having in front of your eyes was crude oil, crude oil, crude oil. Now, by the end of this process, you can see different items, which is petrol, diesel, kerosene. It means in this process, your single raw material got split, separated into the products. That is why this process is called as technically the split of process, or what they call it as the split of point. So please understand this. Split of process or split of point means what? It means the process in which this particular common raw material got separated into the different products. I hope it is clear up to this point. Right? Anybody having any questions or doubts? Okay. So this process in which तांबेश्वरी आपके ये प्रोडक्ट्स अलग हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि अब तक आपका जो भी प्रोसेसिंग हो रहा था वो सिंगल मटेरियल पे हो रहा था. अब तक आपके पास सिंगल रॉ मटेरियल ही प्रोसेस करके बार बार आ रहा था प्रोसेस्ड फॉर्म में. अब इस प्रोसेस में क्या होगा? जब आपने प्रोसेसिंग किया क्रूड ऑयल पे, आपको एंड में इस प्रोसेस के क्या मिला? आपका फाइनल प्रोडक्ट पर वो एक आइटम नहीं है, वो अलग अलग आइटम्स है. सो नाउ फिजिकली यू कैन सी पेट्रोल, डीजल, केरोसिन एट द एंड ऑफ दिस प्रोसेस. सो प्रैक्टिकली इस प्रोसेस में क्या हुआ? आपका जो रॉ मटेरियल था वो अलग हो गया, वो डिवाइड हो गया इनटू प्रोडक्ट्स. यानी हम जिसे बोलते हैं आपका रॉ मटेरियल स्प्लिट हो गया. इसीलिए इस प्रोसेस को हम कहते हैं स्प्लिट ऑफ पॉइंट. सो व्हाट इज स्प्लिट ऑफ पॉइंट? स्प्लिट ऑफ पॉइंट मतलब वो आखिरी प्रोसेस जहां पे आके आपका रॉ मटेरियल अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट्स में डिवाइड हो गया. फाइन. नाउ रिमेंबर दीज टेक्निकल वर्ड्स, बिकॉज क्वेश्चन में अगर कुछ डिफिकल्टी आती है तो वो क्वेश्चन समझने में आती है. सॉल्विंग एट टाइम्स इज इजियर in different other chapters also, even in FM also, and even in taxes also. But what always creates a problem, we feel that solving is difficult. Actually, I feel that in majority of the so-called difficult sums, solving is easy because you know the final answer format. 95% questions are solved by a standardized format. But the problem is understanding the question, whether it deals with this chapter or that chapter, and what are the relevant figures that you need to put in the format. जब तक वो नहीं समझता, then even though you know the answer, the formula, the format, you are not able to proceed. Fine. Coming back to this point. Now, as a businessman, you are having a choice that this final product that you have got, you sell it in the market. So you can sell this petrol immediately. You can sell this diesel immediately. You can sell the kerosene immediately. If you sell it immediately, कब? Split off होते ही, अलग होते ही, that is the moment you get the final product, you sell it, then we call it as sale at split of point. So immediately after process 3, when you got the final product, After doing packing, whatever is required, you sell it. Then it is sale at split off point. Now you are selling it, let us say petrol rupees 100, diesel rupees 90, kerosene rupees 70. So there are some prices at which you are selling it. These prices are called as selling price at split off point. So these are your prices that you get when you are selling the product now. What is now? Now is the point when the products got separated, that is split off. There is a second possibility. Instead of selling it now, you may do some more processing on these products. So process 4, process 5, process 6. Now, importantly, interestingly, my products are now separate physically. हमेशा तो physically visualize करो जो भी concepts है, you'll understand them better. So physically, I have 3 different barrels. एक बैरल में मेरे पास पेट्रोल पड़ा है, एक में डीजल पड़ा है, एक में केरोसिन पड़ा है. अब तक मेरे पास एक ही बड़ा बैरल था जिसमें क्रूड ऑयल था. आफ्टर 3 stages of processing, क्रूड ऑयल क्रूड ऑयल क्रूड ऑयल, तीसरे स्टेज में वो क्या बन गया, 3 अलग अलग आइटम्स, पेट्रोल डीजल केरोसिन, केप्ट इन 3 डिफरेंट बैरल्स. नाउ आई कुड सेल द पेट्रोल. वो बैरल लेके गया मार्केट में, बेच दिया. डीजल बेच दिया, केरोसिन बेच दिया. और आई कुड स्टिल नॉट सेल इट. I could do some more processing on it by adding more additional material, incurring some cost on my labor and overheads. And I refine this petrol further. I make it a more better petrol called as speed. Similarly, the diesel also, instead of selling it immediately, I do further processing by adding more material, applying my labor, applying my machines, and I make it a more high power diesel, which is called as power. So now, instead of selling petrol, I can sell speed, I can sell power. Kerosene, for the time being, I'm assuming, cannot be further processed because kerosene ही रहने वाला. Now I have a different option. The different option is selling my products after further processing. So either I could sell it immediately, जिसे हमने बोला sale at split off point, or I could do some more processing and make the petrol as speed, make the diesel as power. So when you go to petrol pump, you find both. काफी बार वो आपसे पूछते सादा पेट्रोल डालना है या हाई क्वालिटी वाला डालना. हाई क्वालिटी वाले काफी जगहों पे, सी स्पीड इज वन ऑफ द नेम्स. डिफरेंट कंपनीज हैव पुट डिफरेंट नेम्स. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एग्जांपल स्पीड एंड पावर. सो स्पीड और पावर क्या है? पेट्रोल का हायर वर्जन, डीजल का हायर वर्जन. वो कैसे आया? बाय डूइंग व्हाट दिस चैप्टर कॉल्स एज फर्दर प्रोसेसिंग. सो स्प्लिट ऑफ पॉइंट था प्रोसेस 3. स्प्लिट ऑफ पॉइंट के बाद जो आपको आउटपुट मिला, प्रोडक्ट्स मिले, आप और आगे गए, आगे के प्रोसेस में गए, और आगे के प्रोसेस में जाके आपने उन प्रोडक्ट्स पे ही और काम किया टू मेक इट अ बेटर वर्जन, टू मेक इट मोर सुपीरियर वर्जन, एंड नाउ यू आर सेलिंग इट हियर. नाउ लेट अस से you can sell it at the price of rupees 110 per liter. This can be sold at a price of rupees 99 per liter. So पेट्रोल बेचोगे तो 100 रुपए में बिकेगा, स्पीड 110 में बिकेगा, डीजल 90 में बिकेगा, ये 99 में बिकेगा. So these are your selling prices after further processing. Now, what has happened? See, Ajay beta, whatever I'm using in Hindi, I'm also repeating in English. So please don't worry, because there are many students who are putting me a request every time. Ki, sir, please repeat this in Hindi. So for that purpose, but I'm using it. But please be assured, whatever I'm using in Hindi, I'm repeating it, or rather, first I'm saying it in English and then repeating in Hindi. Fine, beta? You may ignore the Hindi version. Okay. Now, so understand this, students, that what is the scenario? You can sell the products either here or here. That is, now you have got a choice. You have got an option. What is the option? Sell it here at split off point or sell it here after further processing. And once you have a choice, there is a problem. What is the problem? The problem is now you have to take a decision. See, many times in my motivational sessions and where I'm invited to address some practical, psychological, emotional issues of students, of professionals, I always say this: your life would have been easier had there been lesser number of choices. Today, majority of your life's challenges, I will say, so-called challenges or confusions even, are there because you are having multiple options and choices. This rule relates to everything, whether it is career, whether in career selecting the right path, or it is relating to your personal life, your relationships, even it is applicable to the smallest thing of buying an item for yourself. Now, when you go to a store or when you go online for the same item, let us say I want to buy a shoe, and that also a white colored sports shoe. That is also fixed. Still within white colored sports shoes, I have 100 plus options. And that what is wasting my time, and it is adding more and more confusion. So many times, remember, it could have been much easier, or rather, I'll say that you can make it much easier by avoiding the multiple options. Anyways, right now, again, the same confusion the company is facing: what to do, whether to sell it here or to sell it here. This is where your role will come as a management consultant, where you would be hired. Already you have been hired for the first step, that is doing process costing. Then for the second step, that is splitting the joint cost. Now for the main step, that is decision making, whether to sell here or to sell here. And these are the whole aspects of your practical part. So the first practical part is finding out joint cost. That is done by doing process costing of all three processes. In the third process, you will get the cost of final product from the process costing workings. That is your joint cost. So till this stage, you study in process costing chapter. This chapter generally starts from here. They will not ask you to do process costing. Maximum what they can do is, instead of giving total 50 lakhs, they will say that the cost of material, labor, and overheads incurred is this. You will add up those costs, that will become this. Or they will give you costs incurred in process 1, process 2, process 3. You add up those costs, that becomes your joint cost. But we don't have to do process costing. Generally, these sums are independent. But remember, you may have an advanced sum where first you have to do process costing, maybe one or two processes. And from the last process, the final product cost that you get becomes the starting point of this chapter. Now, this chapter starts from this 50 lakhs, which, as I said, would be given in the question. And then what you have to do in this chapter is, firstly, you have to apportion this 50 lakhs between your products. So the first step in this chapter is apportioning, that is dividing this joint cost. Then linked to this, they will ask you find out the profits. So many times they also ask you to compute profits. Profits when you are selling the product at this stage, and also profits when you are selling the products at this stage. So please understand what are the questions asked. First, divide the joint cost. Give me the cost of each product separately. So first working required is apportioning joint cost, for which you have to simply select the ratio, and in ratio you divide. Second step is they will ask you to find out profits. Profits after the products are sold at split off, or profits after the products are sold after doing further processing. So you can sell it here also at split off stage. So you find out profit at split off stage. You can sell it here also after further processing. So you find out profits after further processing. And then the last part that they ask you is, okay, now since we can sell it at both stages, you tell me what we should do, whether we should sell it here or we should sell it here. Give us the final decision. This is how this whole chapter is divided. These are the various practical points. And let me inform you, majority of the chapter sums are simple, straightforward, mechanical calculations. Okay. Anybody having any questions up to this stage, please let me know before we can proceed. No questions, students? All clear? Srini is asking me, sir, sale after further processing, how we will be apportion? Srini, beta, if you see my example which I have shared, after processing or further processing has not to be apportioned. No need of apportioning. Why? Because the further processing is now done on each product separately. Petrol further processing separate, diesel further processing separate. So now there is no question of apportioning after split off stage. Because after split off stage, whatever extra working you will be doing, that will be done separately. So you now know what is the extra cost for further processing of petrol, that is of petrol only. Similarly, you know for diesel, because as I showed you, petrol is now further processed in a different process, process 4. Diesel is further processed in a different process, process 5. Correct, beta? Understood, Srini? Now, Now we will discuss what are these methods. See, methods are nothing. They are very simple, straightforward ratios. We all know how to compute ratio. And as I already gave you example, we have already done this in primary distribution of overheads chapter, right? Now, what are these ratios or what they call over here as methods? So methods of apportionment of joint costs. One, it's now please remember methods means ratios. So what ratios you can take for apportion joint cost? One, you can take units. Two, you can take sales value. And three, others. Within inputs, two methods. Take the ratio of inputs, take the ratio of output. What units? See, both are actually same. So practically we always follow this. This is what is called as average cost per unit method, or simply physical units method. So first option is take the ratio of units, input units, output units. Practically it is always the output units, and that is what is called as the average cost per unit method, or simply physical units. In sale value, you have three options or methods. Sale value at split off point, sale value after further processing, or the net realizable value, which is the NRV. So within sale value, you have three options. You can take sale value of split off point, or sale value after further processing, or the NRV. In others, you have the margin method, and you have the method where you will hire an expert, and the expert will do some research and calculation, and the expert gives you a ratio. Let us say the expert gives the ratios 1:3:2:5. You will divide your cost in that. So these are the various methods. Commonly, this, this, and this. These are the three methods which are most commonly used in the industry, and hence they are also asked in the questions. See, anyways, any method they ask, it is simple because for every method, the answer is simple. Take the joint cost, divide the joint cost in the ratio. Ratio as you get from the name itself. If they are saying units, take the units ratio. If they are saying sale value after further processing, take that ratio. If they are saying sale value at split off, take that ratio. If they are saying expert, then the expert's ratio will be given in the sum because that the expert has given to you. So this is how you will do the working. Now, Srini, your question is very valid. Out of this, which is the most suitable method? Okay. See, students, now you have reached a stage in this subject where I can give you some very important thought processes about the subject, or some very important golden rules. Now, normally I refer to them as golden rules. Golden rule for the entire costing. One, I gave you the mother formula, if you remember. And that formula we use in material, labor, overheads, in your process, wherever you do costing, the mother formula is there. So that is first most important golden rule. Or what is a golden rule? It is a concept which is applicable everywhere. That is why I call it as golden rule. And over there I have given it the name as mother formula. Second most important point about costing subject is, for every question there is answer which is one word. The answer is depends. How? Now, Srini just asked me a very valid conceptual question. He said there are so many methods. Out of this, which is the most appropriate, most suitable method? Answer in costing for all conceptual questions is depends. Now you'll say, sir, what is this answer? We don't get anything. Yes, but this is the real answer. What do you mean by depends? Depends means that there is no one answer. The answer depends on various factors. The answer depends on various scenarios or the case scenarios. That is to say, every business, every industry, every product is not the same. What is electronic industry may not be applicable to food processing industry, and may not be applicable to petroleum industry, and may not be applicable to textile industry, because the nature of processing different. The scenario in which they work, some may be highly mechanized, some may be more labor driven, some may be using the advanced technology, some may be using very high-tech machines. So case scenarios are different. Most important is how the cost is incurred. Again, for some industries, the costs are incurred in small amounts, and multiple costs are there. Like the best example is your automobile industry, your electronics industry. You have so many items in cost. But at the same time, if you go to somebody like textile, like petroleum, you have only two or three major cost heads. So see how the differentiating factors are there. Depending on this, the answer for such question comes, and that is why in costing, the correct answer is depends. But the moment I say depends, it means your responsibility is more increased, because had there been only one answer, it would have been easy to understand and remember. Like the mother formula is one. You do anything in costing, you have one answer only. However, when it comes to such question, our understanding has to be much wider. Now, definitely, I would like to answer this question that out of this, which method is the most appropriate? Even though the answer is depends, but depends on what? For that, we will just park this question because this is a very important question of this chapter for the time being, because until unless you actually start using these methods, what I will tell you the final answer as to which is the perfect method, that may not make much sense. So we'll first do practical, and from practical we go to the most conceptual point. So Srini will park your question for the time being, but with this question I wanted to bring to you this very important concept of costing is that for most difficult questions of costing, like the conceptual questions, remember students, the answer is depends. Fine. Okay. Now, what we will do is we will take one question, and that one question we will solve by all the methods. Why solving one question by all the methods? So that you'll understand the comparative differences. Now, broadly, we'll solve it by the four major methods. Actually, three major methods are there, but I'm taking one more. So, physical units method, sale value at split off, sale value after further processing, and the last one is NRV. So, we'll be solving this sum by these four methods, and then henceforth, all further sums we will solve by only that method which is required in that sum. But since this is the first sum, if you remember, we did the same thing in other subjects also, other chapters, sorry, also, like in overheads, when we were doing secondary distribution, there were multiple methods. We did the same thing. So generally, when for same thing you have multiple methods, you should follow this approach of solving one sum by all the methods, so that it gives you a comparative understanding and differentiation, right? So this particular Hardik beta, we will come to that, na? But let me start with basics first. If I directly jump to the most tricky method, it may not be easy for everyone to understand, right? So margin we will do at the end, because anyways it is not regularly asked, and even if it is asked, it is very simple. But for that you need to do the other methods, because margin has a link with other methods. So let us keep margin for later stage. Now, this question, students, I've already uploaded this today morning before your session, so you can download it from there. This question is not an exam question. Let me inform you. Exam question starts from question 2. This question is a version of exam question only, but it has not yet come in any exam, because they will not ask you to solve any sum by all methods. This what I am doing it just to give you a comparative understanding. So I give you 2 to 3 minutes. Go through this, understand the question, start identifying the various figures that we will require in solving. What are the various figures? Units. What is the sale value at split off, sale value after further processing? Mind me, I'm saying sale value, not selling price. Selling price is appearing on your screen, but the ratio is not selling price. The ratio is sales value, which I'm sure you will be understanding. Also, try to locate if the question has given joint cost. If not, it also requires some simple calculation of adding some cost. Do that. So this is how you first do the preparatory work. Do this, then we start solving it. I'll just take a 2 minute short break till then. Preeti, I intentionally use such different names just for giving a different flavor. Otherwise, the sums are very dry. So just to bring something exciting. Okay. So students, now understand this. The question is that you get 4 products which results from a common processing. Now, some may be further processed. So again, this is important that it is not that all products can be further processed. So some may be further processed, some may have to be sold at the split off stage itself. Now, they have given you details of the first 3 processes. Now, these 3 processes combined becomes your joint cost. So my joint cost is made up of what? Material 3 lakhs plus labor plus overheads. So total joint cost is 6 lakhs. Now see, they have given 40% variable, so 60% fixed. It makes no difference to us as of now. See, many times the data given may be unnecessary. In fact, that is given for you to get carried away and do some mistake, but that may be unnecessary, right? Now, what are the further details given? Units produced. So these are the physical units which will be helpful in the physical units method. And then they have given selling prices. I don't want selling prices. I want the sales value. So the sales value will get by multiplying quantity by this. So here it is rupees 1,20,000. Correct. Similarly, you'll find out sales value at split off stage and at further processing stage. So here further processing sales value is 150. This will do for all products. Now this product which cannot be further processed, the sale value that you will get at split off stage also is the sale value at further processing stage. Because even though this product is not further processed, let us say you decide to sell your products after further processing, A, B, and D. These would be sold after doing further processing. C would be sold as it is. So means what? That the 4 products would be sold in the market with A, B, D after further processing, but C at split off stage only. So in this case, since C is not eligible to be further processed, here you will still write the same sale value. Why? Because we will need this ratio when we are doing the working. Now, as I was explaining in the conceptual part, generally 3 things are required in this question. One, they will ask you to find out the cost that is applicable to each product. In simple words, we have to do the apportionment using the ratio. Then they will ask you the profit if the products are sold at split off, if the products are further processed, they want you to find out profits. And then the most important part, the decision making part. So these are broadly the 3 types of questions: apportioning the cost, finding out profit, and taking a decision. I hope the question is clear. Now we will solve all the parts of this question by all the 4 major methods, and later on even by the 5th method, that is the margin method. Now the formats are very simple and they are basic formats, nothing very technical or very crucial about it. So what are the formats? Now see, we have to do 4 things in this particular question, which is actually only 3. So first is I have to find out joint cost. So my first working is statement, or wait, I'll first write the name of the method, physical units method. Now my first working is statement of joint cost apportionment. Format is simple, particulars and the names of your products. Again, the second working is statement showing profits if products sold at split of point, right? Okay, fine. So what is the format? Again, it is simple: particulars A, B, C, D. Next working would be the third question asked: statement showing profits if products are further processed. Particulars A, B, C, D. And last working is statement of decision making. So these are the 4 questions asked in this sum. I repeat, students, this is the most simplest thing. So first you have to apportion joint cost. Now we have selected the method, or the question asks you the method, physical units. So simply what I will do is I will write joint cost. In bracket, I'll write the ratio. What is the ratio? Ratio is physical units. Again, in the bracket, I will mention the ratio also. So ratio will be 10, 15, 25, 10. So it is 10, 15, 25, 10. So what is our joint cost? Our joint cost is 6 lakhs. The total of this is 10, 15 is 25, 25, 25 is 50, 50, 10 is 60. So if I apportion this in this ratio, 6 lakhs apportion in this ratio will give me 1 lakh, 150, 250, 1 lakh. Let me repeat one thing. In the initial questions, there is no byproduct. Even in the exam sums, which we are going to take after this, there is no byproduct. So for the time being, keep the byproduct point aside. Now, what is the second working required? They want us to give them profits if these products are sold immediately after getting split off. So answer is take sales value at split off stage. From that, subtract the cost that is incurred. There is only one cost incurred up to the split off stage. That is the joint cost, which we have just apportioned. You get your profit at split off point. Correct, students? Tell me the sales values. I'm just copying the joint cost, what we have apportioned above. Tell me the sales value at split off point of each product. The first sales value was 10,000 into 12, 120. Correct? Second is 150 plus 90. It is 240. Then 13 upon 4. 325. And then again 120. Just confirm. 240, 325. Okay. So it's 120, 240, 325. So 120, 240, 325, and again 120. So the profits that I would earn is 20,000, 90,000, 75,000, and 20,000. We can also find out company profit. What will be company profit? 20 plus 90 plus 75 plus 90. Correct? This is the profit that the company earns. How much it comes to? 185,205. So the total company profit is 2,05,000. Right, students? Now, same thing. I repeat, sales value after further processing minus what are the costs? One is the joint cost that you have incurred, and also you have incurred the further processing cost. When I subtract both these costs, what I will get is I will get profit after further processing. Joint cost is what we have just apportioned above. So it is 1 lakh. It is 150. It is 250. And it is 1 lakh. What is my sale value? My sale value here is 150. 150 plus 120 is 270. Correct? Then, as I mentioned, since this product cannot be further processed, the sale value for this product will remain same because you'll be selling it in the same form because it cannot be further processed. And then 180. So 150, 270. So sale values are 150, 270, 325, 1. Correct, students? And then we take the further processing cost, 26, 32, and 54. So 26, 32, 54. This is not further process. So again, I have now my profits. Here my profit is 24,000. Here my profit is 88,000. Here my profit remains 75,000. And here my profit is 26,000. Again, I can find out company profit here. The total company profit is 24 plus 88, 112, 136. 136 is 21. Correct. 2,13,000. Now, this is the working. So first we apportion joint cost using the ratio. The ratio that they wanted was physical units. Then we did the working of profits at split off point, which is simple. Sale value at split off minus the joint cost. Then we again did the working of profit after further processing. Again, the working is simple. Sale value after further processing minus the joint cost minus the further processing cost. Now decision making. Now see students, you'll have different types of questions where decision making would be asked. Now this is the first type of question where you are already asked to first find out profits at both stages, at split off also, at further process also. Now, when you have already calculated profits at both stages, simply by comparing the profits, you can take decision. So I can simply say that here I was getting 20,000 profit. Here I'm getting 24,000 profit. So my decision is clear. For A, it has to be further process. Whereas for B, it has to be split off. For C, anyways, split off is the only option. Further process is not an option. And for D, again, it is further process, which is the option. So I get my answers. My answers are that by comparing the profits at both stages, you get your answers. Now, but we have to present it. So how do we present it? We show the profits after further processing, profits at split off point. Now, if I show both these profits, this is 24, this is 88, this is 75, this is 26. This is profit after further processing. What is my profit at split off? 20, 90, 75, 20. Now I take a difference of this. Now, why am I taking difference? You'll get to know. So when I'm subtracting both these, I will get to know, is there any extra benefit from further processing? So further processing gives 24, split off gives 20. So yes, there is extra benefit, which is I get extra profit of 24,000. Here, there is a negative benefit. Here anyways makes no difference. Here again, there is an extra profit. Now, if you look at this, then your decision making becomes easier. Wherever you have extra benefit from further processing, you will further process. So for these two, my decision would be further process. Here by further processing, my profit is reducing. So I will say, okay, let me sell it at split off stage itself. This anyways cannot be further processed. So this is how I'll show the working of the decision part or the advice part, what should be done. This comparison of both the profits is possible in this sum because they have asked us to compute profits. In some other sum where they are not asking you to compute profits, but still they are asking you to take the decision, I'll explain how to do that. Firstly, I hope this is clear. Immediately take down this answer, please. So students, if this is done, let me take you to the second method. Now the second method falls in the category of sales value methods. That is this, as you can see. Now in sales value, we have three options: add, split off, after further, and NRV. We'll again solve all of these one by one. So we start with the first method where your method selected is sale value at split off. This is the method. Now, you may call it as sale value, you may call it as market value. Again, the same three workings. Statement showing apportionment, second statement of profit at split off, again, statement of profit after further processing, and the statement of decision. So the same three workings, same format. The format will be particulars A, B, C, D. So the format remains same, obviously. Okay. Now here, joint cost. What is the ratio? Ratio is sales value at split off. Now, what is this ratio? We just computed it here. It is 120, 240, 325, 120. So the ratio is 120, 240, 325, 120. So now divide your joint cost of rupees 6 lakhs in this ratio. Till then, I'll write down the other formats. So you have single value. Students, give me the first answer. Okay, so I have some answers by the students. Okay. So I believe 89441 is the answer for A. So 89441. Second is 17888. Or is it 178? It cannot be 17888. It should be double of this, no? I believe it would be this. Then 242. This would be 242 something, 240 something, correct? It's a 242, 236. Two 36 and 89441. So these are your joint costs. I'll repeat the same here. 89441, 178, 881, 242, 236, 89441. Now see, students will find that it is a very mechanical working. which actually is very beneficial in exams because you can do it very fast without much risk of any type of mistakes because it is just copy pasting the figures one below the other. Fine. Now we need to find out profit. So we have apportioned joint cost, that is our first part. Now we have to find out profits. So we have to find out the sales value, which we already have. Sales value at split off is 120, 240, 325. Correct? So it is 559. What, Apurva? What did you apportion in joint cost? But 6 lakhs. Our joint cost, Apurva, 6 lakhs. Hai na? So we'll apportion 6 lakhs. Correct? 42, 58, 57, 57, 82, 764. So these are your profit, students, at split off. Now we find out profits after further processing. How will we find out? We'll take the further processing sales value. We'll take the further processing cost. And now, what is left is your profit after further processing. And then in the last working, we will compare these two profits. So the difference will be my extra benefit from further processing. Okay. So now what are my profits after further processing? Okay. So first answer which I'm getting is 34559. This will remain same. Then 59119. Okay. Thirty-six 559. Correct. What is the profit at splitter? So here the difference is positive 4,000. Here the difference is negative 2,000. And here the difference is again positive 6,000. So again, what is my decision? Or what is my advice? Further process this, sell it at split off, sell it at split off, and further process this. Also, should I tell you something? The company profit remains same. Both sides, you can cross check. You can make a total of this, you'll get same. You make a total of this, you get same. So the company profits are same. Hmm. Students, I hope you would have understood this. Apurva, beta, where are you? This is called as the sales value at split off point method. Right, Apurva? Okay, so now Hardik is saying, sir, the methods will always give same decisions. Am I correct? How do I know? That you should figure out. That is what is the special point. If you see, even the company profits are same. So you have to figure out. Now, most important is you don't have to figure out whether it will give same profit or not. That you can see. My interesting question is why? Despite of changing the values, despite of having a different ratio, giving a different figure of joint cost, how come you are having the same profits? Even the decision making net benefit is same. So that is something to be thought by you all, not by me. Chalo. Third working you all will do at your end. Now what will be the method? The method is, oh bapre, Manvi is saying, sir, there is a difference of 1 rupee in the company profits. Bapre, big difference. Oh, Preeti is adding to that, sir. It is difference after further process. Bapre, Preeti, big problem there. Now, what is the third method? Yes, Hardik, we'll have to form a GST council and we'll have to take decision about this problem, how to solve this problem of 1 rupee, big problem. Now, students, as the name suggests, what will be your ratio now? Ratio is sales value after further processing. What is the sales value after further processing? It is this 150, 270, 325, 180. Right? So same 6 lakh joint cost. Now you'll apportion in ratio of sales value after further processing. And again, you'll find out profit at split off, profit after further process, and the decision making. Chalo, this you all will do fast. So the answer that I'm having in chat box. This is the first answer. The second answer is of profits at split off. The third answer is of profits after further processing. Correct. So profits at split off. Twenty-two 703, right? 240 and 24. So 40 and 24 is 64, 8, 6, 5. Manvi, that is okay, but 1, 2 rupees here and there will happen because of rounding off. So don't worry for that 1 or 2 rupees difference. It may be here and there different for everyone. So your profits are this 1, 2 rupees here and there is fine, students. And again, this part is same. Again, this part is same. So company profits same. Final decision profits and the difference, that is the extra benefit, same. Correct, students? Yes, Sukhveer beta. I hope everybody is understanding this clearly. Why profits are same? Nanda Gopal. Ah, Tasak, it will not happen. The final company profits will be same and the difference of extra benefit that is in the fourth working will also be same. Tasak, please recheck. Nanda Gopal, why the profits are same? I believe you are saying the company profits, right? Because individual profits are different, but the company profits are same. Why? I have kept that ball rolling in your court. Think. You have time for that. Till then, let me take you to the fourth case. Now, fourth case is net realizable value method. In short, the NRV method. Now, in this, students, you have to find out NRV. How is NRV calculated? It is sales value after after further processing minus the further processing cost. This difference is called as your net realizable value, that is NRV. And then we will apportion our joint cost taking this NRV as our ratio. So first we find out the ratio, which is over here called as the NRV. Okay, Hardik, good. So let us now find out the NRV. So how do we find out NRV? You have to take the sales value after further processing. So I have already here 150, 270, 325, 180. 150, 270, 325, 180, right? So these are sales values after further processing. Now you have to deduct the further processing cost, which is 26, 32, 54. 26, 32, 54. Now my difference, 1,24,000. So my first ratio is 124 is 2. Then it is 138. 138. Then 325. And it is 126. Correct? So now students, this becomes your ratio. Apportion the 6 lakhs amount in this ratio and complete the working. Students, there is a correction. I'm sorry. This is 238 and the ratio is 238. Sorry, if you all have taken that ratio, I'm sorry. The answers are going not correct. Please correct it. So it is 2,38,000. So the ratio is 238. Please give me the figures of joint costs and profits. 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 So the joint costs which I'm having on the group is 91513, 175654. Two, three, nine. 989. Correct. Then profits. Profits again, which I'm having is 32487, 62354. For it. Profit after Preeti has given me a different joint cost amounts. Bit of profit. Preeti, we are having different joint costs. Why you are having a different joint cost figure, Preeti? Is this further process profits it means? Is this right, students? Please confirm. There's a lot of confusion. I'm having so many answers on the screen. Hardik, beta, give me the profits first at split off.
Sir, the split of profit are correct, just the last one is wrong, sir. No,
How
sir,
much is last one?
no, sir, it is also correct. Further processing, last one is wrong. Sir, it is 33,011.
33.
Yes, sir, 33,011. 33,011.
Okay. All
And sir,
others are correct.
rest are correct, sir.
And then you get the same answer here again.
Yes, sir, 4,000 negative 2,000. And sir, 0. And sir, 6,000.
Perfect. Good. Now, why are you having the same company profits even though the individual joint cost is different, even though the individual profits are different, but why you are having the same company profits? First question. And also most important, why you are having the same next extra benefit? So student, this is because it is simple maths. What is simple maths? The maths is that we have changed the first figure, that is the figure of joint cost, by taking a different ratio. Now this joint cost changes, so obviously your net profit at both the stages has to change. That is logical, that is mathematical. But please understand, students, in total, the figures are same. The total sale value is same in all options. The total joint cost is same in all options. The total further processing case is same in all options. Since the total figures are same, hence the net profit, just visualize the P&L of the company. The P&L of the company will have the same total figures on the debit side and the credit side. Hence, the net profit that you are getting of the company in all the methods has to be same. Please understand this. So only individual figures are changing because you are using different ratio for apportioning the joint cost. But since the total figures are same, the P&L of the company is same in all the options. I hope you're understanding this. Because in the P&L, the sales of all products will remain same. In the P&L, the joint cost will remain same. In the P&L, the further processing cost will remain same. Hence, at the total level, the figures and the amounts are same. Yes, Nanda Gopal, you're right. Yes, Kasat, you're also right. So I hope students you're understanding this. It is a very simple chapter. Now you have exam sums. But let me tell you students, the exam sums are same, copy paste. No difference at all. Shrini beta, be patient. Give me some time. I will tell you methods. Wait. Now, see how are the exam sums designed? See what it says. Sun Moon Limited produces these different products. Here there are 5. Then they have given you the selling prices. They say product D cannot be further processed, so that is okay. Remaining all can be further processed, and again they have given you the further process selling price. Now here they have given you the data for joint cost, where raw material cost, manufacturing cost, so you find out the total joint cost. Now what it says, which are absorbed on the product on the basis of NRV. So now since this is exam sum, you have only one method. So you have to find out NRV and you have to apportion the joint cost using the NRV method only. These are the further processing costs. Now what are they asking you to do? Statement showing income if none of the products are further processed. So it means they are asking you to find out split off point profit. Similarly, statement showing income if these products are further processed. So they are asking you further process stage profit. Now, obviously, what is not asked, but you have to do is the first working of joint cost apportionment, because without that, you cannot find out these profits. And once you have these, now they are asking you the decision. Okay, can you suggest any other production plan? So what would be production plan? Instead of all split off or all further process, the other option could be some split off, some further process. So that you will have to answer in this part. Also, they are saying if yes, then again submit a statement showing income. So now again you'll find out profit of each products. But now here the profits would be as per your decision. So some profits would be split off, some profits would be further. So this is how this second question would be answered. Third question. Explore Limited in the course of refining crude oil obtains 4 joint products. The total cost till the split off point is dismissed. The output and sales is this. So they were given you quantity, the sales and the further processing cost. Correct? Calculate the net income. So they are asking you to find out profit of each of the products if they are further processed. So here the profit is further processing profits. Correct? And they are saying joint cost is a portion on the basis of NRV. Again, they are asking what would be the profit if each product is decided to be sold at the split off point itself. So they want profit at the split off point. So this question is only requiring 2 things, that is profit at both the stages. First at further processing, second at split off. Obviously before this, you have to do the first working, that is apportioning joint cost. Again, which method they have said? The method is NRV. Question 4, 5. Now some questions have some difference, but I will not explain you the difference now. Otherwise, it will not help you develop your understanding. So yes, there are some differences that you will identify yourself. when you solve these questions. That is where these questions are slightly different. That is where I want you to apply your minds. Rachna is asking sale is after further processing. Beta, that you'll get to know from the data given in the question. Na? Whether the sale is after further processing or the sale is at split off. Read the question, beta. See, I think you're asking about this. Here, obviously, the sales is after further processing. Why? Because they have given you selling prices at split off here. Plus here, since sales and further processing costs are given, it means this also gives an indication that these sales are after further processing, right? Now, let me take you to a different type of question, which I call as direct method. What is direct method? Direct method is where they're asking you to take a decision, but they are not asking you the first three workings of joint cost apportionment, profit. Now, had they asked you the first three workings, our answer of decision making would have been simply by comparing both the profits, what we already did, and what you'll be doing in all the above sums. But in this question, if you see the question, they have not asked you to find out the profits at each stage. They have simply asked you to directly find out the decision. So, how to solve this? Take up 7 sum. I give you all. Okay. How will you solve? First option is we can go by the lengthy process, do the first three workings, joint cost, profit split off, profit further process, and then the decision. But if the question is only 4 marks in exams, is it worth spending so much time? Answer is no. And most importantly, when they do not want you to give you those figures, why should we invest our time? Rather, in exams, I'll say, why should we waste our times? Because you all will understand and appreciate this, that exams marks are specific to the questions. So what question is asked, only those marks are considered. What question is not asked, even if you answer it, those marks are not there. You will not get the question. So let us see how we can solve it. That is why I have named this category as the direct method, right? Now, what is given? A company's plant processes 150 kgs of raw material in a month, which gives you two products as your output. The raw material cost is 12. Further cost is this. So firstly, they are giving you the data for calculating joint cost. So joint cost is raw material cost 150 plus all these other costs. All this other cost is, so firstly, this is my joint cost, right? Now, what it further says, there is a loss in the process, which is 5% of input. And the output that you get is in this ratio. So I have a small working to do here. So raw material is 1,50,000 kgs. From that, we deduct loss, which is at the rate of 5%. So it is 7,500 kgs. So what I'm left with is my output. Output is 1,42,500. Now this output is split into two products P and Q, and the ratio of their splitting is 1:2. So I think it is 47,500, correct? And here it is 95,000. Right, students? Now, what it says further, the selling prices at split off point is this. A proposal is available that P may be further processed. The entire current output of P can be processed further to obtain new product S. The price of S, now see, understand, S is your new product, so it is your further processing price, is 15. So only P can be further processed into S. Each kg of output will require 1 kg of P, and the further processing cost is 185. So S also I will get 47,500. So this is the question. Now what they are asking is simply, will you recommend further processing? So they want decision from you about further processing. Nothing else is asked. Now if nothing else is asked, why should I waste my time? Right? Now, how do we solve this? So I call it as the direct method. Why direct method? Because here you are not asked to do the other workings. So I call it as direct method of decision making. Now, how this direct method will operate? See, I have only one product, so there will be one column. Had there been two products, I would have made two columns, three columns, four columns. But particulars and only one column P, which is becoming S. Correct? Now, I will take sales value after further processing. From this, I will deduct sales value at split off. So what I will get? I will get that extra revenue from further processing. From this, if I deduct the extra cost for further processing, which is what? Which is our further processing cost, I will get net benefit from further processing. Now somebody will say, sir, what is all this? I'll explain. See, we'll take our original example of first question A, B, C, D. Let us say the first question also, you are not asked to find out the joint costs and profits. You are directly asked the decision. Now, what is the logic of this format? Let me explain. See, why should anybody do further processing? Because it increases your sales value. So I'll find out by what amount my sales value increases. That becomes my extra revenue. And then I compare it with the extra cost which I have to incur for doing the same further processing. So further processing gives me extra revenue in the form of extra sales, and the same further processing incurs extra cost. If the difference of this is extra benefit to me, I will further process. If not, I will not further process. So let me first explain this with the sums which we have already solved, because now we have those figures, so it will make more sense. So I'll take both the sales values, 150, 120, correct? So it is 150 sales value after further processing, 120 sales value at split off. So what is my extra revenue from doing further processing? It is 30, right? What is my extra cost from further processing? It is 26. So by doing further processing, I get extra sales value of 30. But for the same thing, I have to incur extra cost of 26. What is my net benefit from further processing? It is same. Similarly, second, sales value after further 270 at split of 240. 270, 240. So by doing further processing, how much extra revenue I am getting? It is 30. What is my further processing cost? It is 32. So for doing this further processing, the cost that I will incur is 32. So there is a net loss. So I'm not getting any extra amount. Rather, I'm losing 2000 because further processing gives me extra sales value of 30, but it incurs extra cost of 32. So 2000 is loss. This anyways I'm not doing, because anyways we know the decision, it is at split off only, because further processing is not possible. So let me take you to the third product, that is D, 180, 120. So if I further process, I get 180 as the sales value, and if I do not, I get 120 as the sales value. So what is the extra sales value that I get by further processing D? It is 60. And D incurs 54,000 as the further processing cost. So what is my net extra benefit from further processing? It is 6,000. Compare this with what you are getting till now. Same figures you'll find here also. 2,000 negative, 6,000 positive. So 4 minus 2, 6. It has to be same. Maths. See, if you observe, what we have done is, you made 3 workings above. In that 3 workings, the joint cost is the figure which is deducted from same. Further processing calculation also same joint cost. Split off calculation also same joint cost. I've removed the joint cost because it is same in both the calculations. So if I remove the joint cost, these are the figures which are left, and these are the only figures which are changing between split off and further process. First, what is changing is the sales revenue, and second, what is changing is the cost. So if I remove joint cost from both the workings, which is anyway same in split off also and in further also, so without joint cost, I get the same answer, because now I'll give you the logic. Mathematically, you can say both joint cost is same, so you remove it. But the other reason is that logically also joint cost is not required in this decision. Why? Because the decision is about whether I should further process or not. And anyways, this decision has no effect of joint cost, because the joint cost is that first basic cost which is incurred to get the products. Now you have got the products, you have to decide whether I should sell now or after further process. In both these scenarios, joint cost is irrelevant cost. Irrelevant means not of use for that decision. The joint cost is irrelevant. You don't require that joint cost. That is why mathematically also in both working, since the joint cost is same, it will become zero. So mathematically also, as you can see, I can solve it without joint cost because it is same in both the calculations. And logically also, why joint cost is irrelevant, why it is not required in the working, because joint cost increments is compulsory firstly to get the products. Now you are standing at a stage where you have the products. You have to take the decision for the next part. For the next part, the joint cost has no change. Whether you sell it at split off, joint cost is same. Whether you sell it after further process, joint cost is same. So the joint cost is not impacting your decision because the decision is for the next part. Yes, Sania, you're right. So here we are also using one costing concept of incremental cost and incremental revenue. So we have taken the incremental revenue, compared it with the incremental cost. So we got the answer. But why we are going by the incremental figures only? Because the decision is about the later part. After the first stage of getting the products up to the split off stage, we have to take the decision of the next part, whether selling at split off or after further process. So joint cost is irrelevant because in this decision, whatever decision you take, joint cost is not going to change. I hope you got the logic, students. Now with this logic, I can solve this sum. So I'll take sales value of S, which is of further processing. I'll take sales value of P, which is at split off. I'll get net extra revenue. I'll compare it with cost. I'll get net benefit, which may be plus or minus. And that will give me my answer. So in the given sum, see 47,500 multiplied by 15 will give me sales value of S. And this multiplied by 12 will give me sales value of P. So I get both sales value. So students, tell me the sales value. This multiplied by 15 is sales value after further. The same quantity multiplied by 12 is sales value at split off. What is this 712,500 beta of P or S? Seven twelve 500 570. Okay. 712 500. So I get 142 500 as my extra revenue by doing further processing. What is my extra cost? That is further processing cost. It is 185. So for doing this further processing, the cost that I will incur is 185. So my net benefit is negative. Since the company will incur a loss from further processing as compared to split off. Hence, the company should sell at split off stage itself. I hope this is clear. Fine, students. Understood by all? Clear to all? Now, answering the question for which Srini is waiting for long. Srini, beta, it cannot be different because it is maths. My presentation is only changing, but mathematically it cannot be different, the incremental amount. It will always be same thing. Now, answering this important question, which is the best method? Answer is NRV or sales value at split off. Now, these are the best methods. Why? Firstly, because both methods are based on sales value, which is the market-driven sales value, and always market-driven values are the best values to consider for apportioning cost, because market values are the realistic values. Now, you also have a market value after further processing, but we are not considering that because we have to apportion joint cost, which is at the split off stage. In fact, while explaining the logic of this direct method also, I was emphasizing that only key joint cost for the decision making is irrelevant, because joint cost is incurred up to the split off stage and it is locked there. Whether we further process or not, it is not changing. Same point I am repeating. Since the joint cost is a cost up to the split off stage, it has nothing to do with further processing. Hence, taking sales value after further processing will not give you the correct or realistic picture, because if you take sales value after further processing, the product on which more further processing is done will get a higher share of joint cost, which is incorrect, because joint cost is the cost up to split off. So the most appropriate approach would be taking any value which is up to split off, and hence we should not take the value after split off. We should take the value at split off only. So that is why the best methods are this. Now, why NRV? Because what is the formula of NRV? It is sales value after further process minus further process cost. So mathematically, even though you start with sales value after further process, you deduct the further process cost. So mathematically, you reach back to NRV. So mathematically, NRV is value at split off point only. Now, let me inform you the actual formula for NRV is sales value after further processing minus further processing cost minus any profits attributable to further processing. This also has to be deducted, but this is never given in the question. Hence, this is only theoretical. Practically, NRV sales value at split off. Sales value after further processing minus further processing cost. I hope this is clear to all. Srini, I hope I've answered you. Kasak is asking, sir, will we do all the steps if decision at last not asked? And if only decision is asked, then by direct method. See, beta, Kasak, you have to do what is asked in the question. If they're asking you to find profit at split off, find profit after further, you have to do all the steps, but not decision if it is not asked. Like the questions which I'm asking you to do for homework before the 7 sum, all sums 2, 3, 4, 5, they all have these different types of case scenarios where something is asked, something is not asked. In that case, you will only do what is asked. You will not waste time in doing what is not asked. Correct? Now, even physical units method is a best method, but only where joint products are similar in nature and value. But where they are not same in nature and value, you should always take the sales value method. And that is why sales value is always the first preference. But where your products are same, the joint products are same. They are not like petrol, diesel, kerosene, that their nature is different. They are all same. Many times it happens that the joint products that you are getting are same with slight variation, like marker pens of white color, of blue color, of green color. Makes no difference. Only the color is changing. Otherwise, the products are all same. In such cases, physical units being the simplest method can be taken. So this is how I had answered. Your question was which method is appropriate, and at the start I said it depends. Depends on what? So many things. One, are the products same or different? You'll say products are same. I'll say take physical units. But still, my first inclination is always for the market value. Why? Because market value gives you a realistic picture. But then the challenge is, are market values available? Are the market value constant or are they fluctuating? Because if they're fluctuating, how can you take market value? So all these factors combined gives you the answer. But in general, for your exams, these are the appropriate or the best methods. But in the question, what method you have to adopt, whatever they have asked to solve. I hope I have answered everything. Beta, similar nature means, as I said, petrol, diesel are not similar in nature. But marker pen of blue color or red color or green color is similar. You cannot say common material. Why common material? Because anyway, joint products are made from common material. The same crude oil is making petrol, diesel, kerosene. That is why they are joint products. So common material is not the criteria because anyway, joint products are arising from the same common material. Right? So students, I will request that you all practice from the sheet which I have uploaded. You have to practice sums up to question number 5. They are very important sums because all are exam sums and all have some different type of languages. So up to 5 we have to solve. 7, another important exam sum I have already solved. 5, 6, 9, you may skip, it is not so important. They are all repetition of the same. So at least you all solve up to question number 5. This is my request so that we can discuss them. Also, you can take up your module sums. Also, you can take up your past exam questions, except for the adjustment of byproducts. You can solve any sum now. Fine. Thank you all students. Thank you very much. We have completed 75 to 80% of this chapter today itself. But next lecture, I want you all to come with practice because practice will give you more insights. So in the next lecture, we will discuss the answers, whatever you have solved, wherever you are having challenge, and we'll go to the next part, that is joint products, byproducts, what is the treatment of byproducts, and the last method which I have intentionally left out, that is the method of margin, right? Somebody is saying it is not appearing on the portal. Okay, I uploaded it. So, don't know why it is not appearing. Let me check. So I'm going in the downloading section. You see it is here, huh? Joint products and byproducts. See it is there available in the download. Joint products and byproducts. Please check. Okay, maybe your portal is taking time. No problem. Fine. So thank you all students. It was a great session discussing with you all the different concepts. I'll request the admin to do it. No worries. Thank you students. Please practice today and we catch up in the next lecture to complete this chapter with all the different types of sums. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you technical team. We may close today's lecture. Thank you. Bye bye. Yes, sir. Sir, please approve the material which I have uploaded so that students can download and stuff. I do that. Thank you all.